Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm WillStuck25, and today I got a new action figure review for you guys. He's semi-new. This is the Jazwares Pokémon Select Elite Trainer Series, as they're called now, Series 5 Tyranitar, your Generation 2 Pseudo-Legendary. Pseudo-Legendaries are like crazy base stat totals if you don't know and are new to Pokemon. So he's like, has legendary stats in the game. So yeah, pseudo legendary Tyranitar. So far, in terms of the pseudo legendary, as they call them, we have gotten Tyranitar and Dragapult as our only two so far. I would love to see the other ones done. Tyranitar is an awesome figure. I really like him. He is more of a statue, though. I'm gonna say right now, he looks great. Shelf presence, awesome. But unfortunately, they didn't give him like a diaphragm in here or anything like that. So he can't really do anything. He's got very limited articulation. He's basically a big old chunk of plastic. While I do like him and I'm happy to have him in the line, it is kind of a bummer that they couldn't give him anything more, any more love that he kind of deserves, because Gen 2 is an old classic. Tyranitar is basically the first, Godzilla mimic Pokemon kind of that we got. So he's really cool, really like him. Accessory wise, what does he come with? Well, no actual accessories. He does come with your usual Jazwares Pokemon Select stand that you could use to try and hold him up. As you can see, he kind of fell backwards. You have to basically, if you don't use the stand, you have to use his tail to like prop him up. So if you want him in any like dynamic crazy poses, gotta use the stand. But we're just going to get rid of the stand for the rest of the video because that doesn't apply to us here. We don't need it because he can actually stand on his own, which is something not all Pokemon Select figures can do, and not all Pokemon can do in their own, because a lot of them are birds, a lot of them are flying things. They don't have the big chunky base that this guy does. So Series 5. The other figures from the wave that we do have in here, they show Charizard in every Series 5 wave. That's a lie. He's not in Series 5. I don't see Charizards around me anymore in stores, so don't know where that's coming from. But you did have Tyranitar and Suicune, one of the legendary beasts from Generation 2. And then Mewtwo is supposedly Series 5, but I feel like he's actually going to be Series 6 with Raikou. But we'll see when I get him, hopefully soon here. So, sculpt-wise, like I said, Tyranitar is awesome. The coloring that they did on everything is pretty accurate. I don't notice anything wrong or different about it. The black looks really nice. I don't notice anywhere that it's kind of like missing or mispainted. Mine's pretty good. The eyes and face look good. The mouth looks good. You got the inner red up in the mouth and the pink tongue. The white on the teeth is good. The like bluish, slate bluish, light blue color that he's got on the belly and the back is nice. And then the grain's overall fine. Nothing's really wrong with him. The plastic's all good. He's got some looseness in the legs a little bit, as we're used to with the Pokemon Select figures. They're not always the tightest of joints for every single one. And then the fins are harder plastic, but a little soft in some of them. They feel like slightly rubbery, so they're not super pokey dangerous, but they're a little bit pokey. So yeah, articulation wise for Tyranitar, like I said, very limited. He could look down that far, basically. He could look up that far. The mouth, I think, closes, yeah, but because the teeth don't get all the way up in there, they kind of run into each other a little bit, so you can't fully close the mouth. So he's got this like silly weird little grin going on, so I don't really like it. I pose them with the mouth open just because it looks better. Arm wise, they could do they can't even really do a full 360. They're kind of back that far forward this much. He's got like a weird like forward and back, like depending on where the joint is, you could bring it back that far and then forward that much. And then you got the extra hinge here for like the little elbow where he could like bring the elbow forward that much, and then you could go back that much. Really nothing at all. You could do a full 360 with it, but there's really no point. But yeah, so you could make him get in a little bit of a wave pose. There you go. Your Tyranitar's waving. But yeah, nothing really crazy. I think, is this also, there's also a little ring here. This little ring actually rotates as well. I think it could do a full 360. Yeah, so you could do a full 360 there. So he's got a little rotation on the ring as a bicep cut. Don't really know why he's got that. Maybe it's because it kind of like, you know, changes the style of where the arm is, because it does have its own little bit of like curve to it, so it changes exactly where the thing is. Leg wise, you got the knee that goes up that far, back that far, toe articulation, it goes up that far, down that far, and then the leg can kind of like, it's a little bit of a wiggle, but not much. You can't do much with it. You go up that far, back that far. So legs don't really do much either. And then the tail, again, up, down. You could kind of do a little bit of rotation, not very much. The little section here, go back that far and then forward that much. You could kind of rotate. You could do a full 360 with it, seems like, but I'm not going to because I kind of got in the pose I want. And then the little bit of the tail, it shows there's a joint here, but mine's kind of stuck. Oh, there we go. So up that much, back that much. Doesn't want to rotate at all. So yeah, that's really all the articulation you could get on Tyranitar. You could kind of like bring the leg like in and out a little bit, like a little bit of a wiggle back and forth. But he's very limited. Like I said, he's basically a glorified statue that's like parading as an action figure, but he's still great. He's nice to have in the collection. He's got a shelf presence to him, and it's nice to have him. To the top of the head, he's like 6 inches. To the top of the fin here, he's like probably 6 1/4, 6 1/2. To the very tip of the top. And then like leg length, if you want to go from there, it's like 6 inches from the back of the tail to the front of the belly. So yeah, he takes up a bit of space. You know, he's still pretty big. Height comparison wise, like I said in the Samurai review, if you did watch it, I do greatly appreciate it. But if you do have your own like custom trainer figure that you want to build or like make or something like that, for some Marvel Legend comparisons, we got your black suit symbiote Spider-Man on the retro body, and then we have America Chavez on like the teenage girl MCU body, and we got a G.I. Joe classified Snake Eyes. So there's your like size comparisons there, all of those. And then we'll do Figma Samus as well, just to get, you know, a look at them together, and Mezco Stealth Iron Man. And yeah, there's your looks there. And lastly, I'm not gonna bother with Mafex today. I think we'll just do an SHF. So if you want to see an SHF, here is Super Saiyan Goku. So there you go. There's your looks at all those guys. We'll take a look at some other. There goes Samus taking a dive. We'll take a look at some other Pokemon figures really quick from this wave and previous waves, and some other things. And yeah, we'll take a look at those, and we'll call it a video. So we got our Bandai model kit Gengar that I built a while ago. You see it in most of the reviews. I like it as a non-Pokemon, non-Jazware product to review with to show off. You got the Pokemon Epic Battle figure. These are the very limited articulation ones. They did release this same Venusaur in the Select line in like a 3-pack with Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, and they were all like the shiny pearlescence. This is the original one that was like $20 like a couple years back. It is scale wise, it scales pretty well with the Selects, so I like keeping it around and showing it off. Then we got Samurott, which I did previously review on the channel for the last Pokemon Select. This was Series 4. He's really nice. It's good to have him. And then we got some of the more non-articulated figures here. We got a Psyduck, we got Jolteon, we got Ivysaur as well. And then for the little non-articulated Jazwares, we got the Squirtle and the Pikachu. These were part of those, like what I said was they called them Pokemon Selects. They're in the same packaging, they're in the same like brand, but these are just re-releases of previously like battle figures that they call them, that Jazware does. So all the rest of these things here are Jazware besides Gengar. So there's your look at all those. And then if you're curious, we'll bring out the one Figma Pokemon trainer that I own. Here's Gloria. She is one of the protagonists from Sword and Shield, the Generation 8 games. So she scales pretty well with Tyranitar. Tyranitar is also in those games, so it's nice to see, a trainer with a Pokemon she could potentially have. Since National Dex is gone and everything. Here's Charizard. So Charizard looks very nice. I really like him. I would have brought out Dragapult, but Dragapult is kind of a pain because it needs to be on a flight stand. Its tail is so huge. It's a great looking figure, but again, it's kind of like Tyranitar, where you're gonna get it in a pose, it's gonna stay in that pose. So yeah. And then lastly, we got two more size comparisons. We have Typhlosion with Tyranitar, you know, one of the starters from Generation 2. We get Charizard out of here. And Typhlosion is pretty awesome. I really do like this figure. And lastly, from this wave that I will be reviewing next on the channel, we have Suicune, at least for Pokemon things, what we review next. So we got our starter, a pseudo legendary, and one of the main legendaries of the game. We did get the epic battle Lugia, so you know, if you have that, there you go. You have, you know, one of the main box art legendaries, one of the roaming extra, you know, trio legendaries, your pseudo, your starter. It'd be nice to get another Generation 2 or something Pokemon in here. Gen 2 wise, we're gonna get Entei and Raikou. I would love to get Ho-Oh. Ho seems a little bit big. I don't know if they could make it with the select line. Select wise, if we're talking for Alligator, Meganium, get all the starters, that'd be awesome. And then maybe Ampharos, maybe Scizor, Steelix would be pretty cool. Things that I'm thinking they could go work with the select line. I think that would be it mostly. There might be a couple more. Heracross, that'd be pretty sick. Those would be some other ones I'd like to see Gen 2 wise in the select elite trainer series, you know, thing that they could do with these. But yeah, Tyranitar is pretty cool. For the price point of like $20, I just saw like a handful in one of my local Targets recently. He seems to be pretty well stocked, so if you really want him, I say go out and get him, but don't expect to get any like crazy poses going on with him. You know, you could probably fudge some good like action figure photography with them if you like, you know, use different perspectives and stuff like that. You could probably get him in some cool poses and stuff. And with other Pokemon, he looks pretty good. As you see with like all these guys, he scales up really well with everybody. So for the price point of $20, I think he's pretty good. Again, I wish he articulated better. I wish he had a diaphragm joint somewhere in here. I wish the head could look up a little bit more and down a little bit more. And I wish the mouth could fully close. That's kind of my biggest gripes with the figure. Other than that, I think he's good as a display piece. Posing wise, not the best. They're definitely better in the line. I think Charizard is probably one of the best posing in terms of Pokemon Selects. But Charizard, I'm very biased towards, but I think he's one of the best ones. But yeah, that's gonna do it today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Like I said, great figure. Do recommend them. These are, I believe, Target exclusive now. So if you are looking for it, go check out your Targets. That's, I think, the only place you could pick up Pokemon Selects anymore, at least for like any of the new figures. Tyranitar and Suicune are specifically exclusives there. So that's gonna do it. Like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you wouldn't mind and haven't done so already, would always appreciate a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. We did pass like 500 subscribers. Thank you guys very much. Do greatly appreciate it, especially when I took a break and there was still support and love coming into the channel. And I appreciate all the comments and everything that you guys leave. So yeah, thank you guys very much. But yeah, we're ending off the year strong. Hopefully you guys, you know, did enjoy. Let me know in the comments as well. Did you get this guy? Did you pick him up? What do you think of him? What's some of the Pokemon you want to see made into the select line with actual articulation and stuff? So pseudo legendary wise, we got Tyranitar, we got Dragapult, we got Garchomp coming. I really want to see Metagross, but I think they're doing Metagross as one of those big epic battle figures. So I will get that and review it whenever I find it. But Salamence would be sick, Dragonite would be sick. Any of them would be cool, but I would really like to see Dragonite and Salamence. Yeah, there's probably another one I'm forgetting that I would really want. But yeah, that'll do it for me today. Like I said, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.